heard of a creature that lives forever by drinking blood? That's a vampire! They're more than just scary stories. Vampires have been freaking people out for centuries. From ancient myths to today's movies and books, these blood-sucking legends just won't die. Let's dive into the history of these legendary monsters. Think vampires are a new thing? Think again! Almost every culture has its own creepy vampire myths. Long ago, people couldn't explain why bad things happened. They blamed creatures like vampires. In ancient Mesopotamia, there were stories of bloodthirsty demons. In Europe, people believed in undead creatures that preyed on the living. The myths were different, but the fear was the same. Let's fast forward to the 1800s. That's when Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. It's the most famous vampire story ever. Dracula, the Transylvanian Count, became the ultimate vampire icon. He had it all: sharp fangs, a thirst for blood, and a spooky castle. But Dracula wasn't the only famous bloodsucker. There was Carmilla, a female vampire who preyed on young women. These stories scared people, but also made them fascinated by vampires. In the 1920s, vampires took over Hollywood. Nosferatu, a silent film based on Dracula, terrified audiences. Then came Bela Lugosi, the actor who defined Dracula for a generation. Vampires were officially box office gold. The vampire evolution from monsters to heartthrobs. Vampires went through a major makeover over time. They started as pure monsters, creatures to be feared. But then, something interesting happened. Writers and filmmakers started to make them more human. They gave them feelings, weaknesses, and even love interests. Suddenly, vampires weren't just scary, they were kind of attractive? Fast forward to the 2000s. Vampire stories exploded in popularity, especially among young adults. The Vampire Diaries and Twilight became huge hits. These stories brought us brooding vampire heartthrobs like Stefan Salvatore and Edward Cullen. They were dangerous, mysterious, and totally irresistible. Vampires weren't just monsters anymore. They were romantic heroes. Why are we still so obsessed with vampires? Maybe it's the thrill of danger, the allure of immortality, or the forbidden romance. Whatever the reason, vampires continue to fascinate us. They represent the dark side of our imaginations, the things that scare us and excite us at the same time. Vampires aren't just in books and movies anymore. They're everywhere. We've got vampire TV shows, comics, video games, and even anime. Castlevania on Netflix is a perfect example. It's a dark and action-packed animated series that shows the epic battle between vampire hunters and the creatures of the night. And then there are games like Vampire the Masquerade, where you can actually become a vampire and navigate the dark underworld. So what's next for these creatures of the night? One thing's for sure, vampires aren't going anywhere. They'll keep evolving, taking on new forms and appearing in new stories. Maybe we'll see more vampire superheroes, vampire comedies, or even vampire space operas. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, as long as we have our imaginations and a thirst for a good vampire story.